My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Lord, today, January the 31st, we celebrate the memorial of Saint John Bosco, who is the patron of apprentices, editors and publishers, schoolchildren, magicians, and juvenile delinquents. He was the founder of the Salesian Society, named in honor of St. Francis de Sales, and of the Daughters of Mary, Help of Christians. His life work was the welfare of young boys and girls, hence his title, Apostle of Youth. He had no formal system or theory of education. His methods centered on persuasion, authentic religiosity, and love for young people. He was an enlightened educator and innovator. All this began with dreams he began to have, dreams through which you, Jesus, started to communicate your plans for him. What is important, though, is that these dreams did not remain as mere dreams, but that they were fulfilled through his correspondence to your grace. We can truly say that his life's work was to convert your inspirations, which were communicated to him through dreams, into fulfilled realities by his heroic correspondence. Yes, dreams fulfilled. It is said that during his lifetime, Don Bosco, this was how he was addressed by others, had 40 dreams. Although all of them would have profound impact on his life, and through him, to others as well, there's one very early in his life which marked him out for the mission entrusted to him by the Lord. When he was still young, in a dream, John found himself fighting a large crowd of rowdy lads who were cursing and carrying out abominably. He tried to stop them, but they refused to listen to him. Suddenly, a man appeared, who motioned to John and said, "Not with punches will help these boys, but with goodness and kindness." "Who are you?" gasped the astonished boy. Then a woman appeared. Putting her arms around him, she said, "What shall I do, John?" John looked. The boys changed to a pack of snarling wild animals whose growls sent terror to his heart. Then the woman put out her hand. The beasts changed again to a frolicking flock of lambs. "What does it all mean? I'm just a farm boy. What can I do?" He burst into tears. The lady's answer came to him, even to resound in his heart, to be repeated audibly several times in his lifetime. "This is the field of your work. Be humble, steadfast, and strong." Lord, from early on in his life, you had inspired this young boy through this dream that he was marked out for a special mission in his life. He was scared by the dreams, and he could not make sense of them all first. However, he also discerned that God was speaking to him for a reason. Since he was sure of it, he wanted to convert this dream into reality. He begged God to explain to him what he wanted of him so that he can fulfill his dream. John was deeply convinced that he was called to the priesthood. But the priesthood meant studies, and there was no money on the Bosco farm. Even school was almost impossible. Due to the goodness of a farmer who taught him, John learned to read and write and do sums at the age of 8. His first schooling came the next year, when he hiked some 3 miles every morning to the country school of a priest. But the increasing hostility of his stepbrother, not pacified by John's attempts to put in extra hours on the farm, made life at home unbearable. And so, for the sake of domestic peace, Margaret Bosco divided the paltry estate left by her husband, allowed her youngest son to go to Castelnuovo to attend a public school, and board with a good family she knew. Alone in the town, John soon learned the hardships of an orphan's life. He worked after school to support himself. Though he was only 15, he He labored in a blacksmith shop, then as a tailor, a waiter, a pinball in a bowling alley, a shoemaker, anything to get a few pennies, ease his mother's burden. At school, he did exceptionally well. True, teacher and classmates had looked upon him as a country dolt in the beginning, but his brilliant memory and steadfast application soon won him everyone's respect. In 1 year, he was ready for secondary studies. As we look back over the records, we find that John did 3 years of high school in 1 scholastic year and 1 summer. How he ever succeeded is quite unimaginable, unless we take into account his exceptional memory and intensive study habits. Throughout his schoolwork, John did not lose sight of his vocation, which was now more than ever an actual conviction. "I'm going to be a priest," he told his friends, "and I'm going to give my life to the care of boys." By 1835, when John was 20, he was ready for the seminary, taking with him an enviable record for excellence in studies, a reputation for solid piety, and the friendship of countless people in many walks of life. Prominent among them was a young priest, Father Cafasso, now St. Joseph Cafasso, John's confessor, who best understood him and helped him to interpret God's plans. Oh Jesus, what a beautiful example of a soul who, inspired by your promptings, communicate to him through dreams, took them up as divinely inspired, and committed himself to their fulfillment to such a heroic degree. May all of us know how to discern the inspirations you send us and be determined to carry them out. May my dreams be fulfilled for your greater glory. So, I want to examine my life, Lord, in this time of dialogue with you. Do you send me dreams, Jesus? In other words, do you send me inspirations? How do I know that they are from you and not from my own fanciful imaginings? What if they are made up by myself instead of truly coming from you? And if they are genuine, do they involve something extraordinary, something miraculous in nature? Of course, the answer, Jesus, is that you do send me inspirations. I will not call them dreams necessarily, but promptings, suggestions, interior perceptions concerning everyday life situation. For instance, when I see a family member who seems to be more tired than usual, I feel this inner prompting to stop what I'm doing and go over to that person and kindly ask if there's anything I can do for that person. That is when, in my conscience, Jesus, you send me a dream, so to speak, so that I can either choose to ignore it or act on it. Have I always acted on this prompting to serve my neighbor, whoever that person might be? Or have I easily and selfishly chose to ignore them and in this way waste an occasion to fulfill my dream? Or think of another example. Perhaps due to my temperament, I tend to be very quick in reacting to external stimuli in such a way that I behave in an imprudent way, perhaps hurting or offending others. After the fall, I bring it again to my prayer to you, Jesus, and ask you sincerely and humbly, Jesus, the next time similar thing were to happen, please give me an inspiration or help so that I can control my temper and practice meekness and serenity. I really want to change. That is my dream. That is what I really want to do. I really want to struggle, Jesus. Help me, please. Well, the next time a similar occasion arises, whereby my temper was to be tested, the Lord answered my petition and sent me the actual grace to exercise a heroic self-control. This is dream being fulfilled. I've succeeded with your help, my Lord, in taking that important step toward character and virtue formation. That is how, step by step, through everyday situations, I can fulfill my dream to grow in holiness. In today's gospel passage of St. Mark, you, Jesus, said, "To what shall I compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable can we use for it? It's like a mustard seed that, when it's sown to the ground, is smallest of all the seeds of the earth. But once it is sown, it springs up and becomes the largest of plants and puts forth large branches so the birds of the sky can dwell in its shades. I don't know if you've ever seen a mustard seed. I have. It is indeed very small, yet when it springs up, it becomes one of the largest of plants. This is what our little dreams are made of, small mustard seeds. It is you, my dear Jesus, who constantly sow your inspirations in my soul every day, hundreds, if not thousands. Only if I can see them as coming from you, and more importantly, only if I can act on them right away, without hesitation, without giving in to laziness and comfort-seeking nature, then my life will bear abundant fruit of holiness, that truly will be dreams fulfilled. My mother, your dreams were so holy and magnificent. You acted on them right away with a great promptitude. That is how you, too, advance in your holiness. Please continue to intercede for me so that I, too, can convert these small daily dreams into a magnificent reality. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.